Welcome to the Momentum webinar series, where we ask expert facilitators to weigh in on topics that help advance women in leadership.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Momentum Leaders virtual training today. We have Dr. Cree Johnson in the house with us. She is the president and owner of Brownstone Healthcare. She's also an author, a speaker, and she is we're honored to say that she has come through our program, our executive program here at Momentum. So glad to have her as part of our extended team. So thank you for being here and joining in with us. You will not be disappointed today by any means. Be ready for all the energy that's about to come at all of us. We want to thank our sponsors for everything that they have been doing to make this a free opportunity for women everywhere. So thank you, every one of our organizations and our companies, individuals. And if you are interested in being a sponsor with us here at Momentum Leaders, you can see you're going to be an amazing company. We'd love to have you come in and join us. Just hop on our website or even call one of us and we will get you set up. We'd love to have you work with us here. Today, we're going to, at one point, take a picture of all of us. So at some point today, just make sure you got your smiling faces on. We're going to do a lot of interactive work today. So if you do have your video up, make sure we can see you so we can interact with you more. And Dr. Cree, welcome again, and I'm going to pass it right on over to you, okay?
Thank you, ladies. I am Dr. Cree. I am a board-certified family medicine physician, and I specialize in helping everyday overwhelmed. Anybody in here overwhelmed? Let me see your hand. Nobody? Oh, I see some hands. Overwhelmed, overworked. Anybody overworked? Don't say it too loud because I know y'all at work. Overworked. To live a healthy, happy, whole life. So I am so excited to be with you guys, and we're going to jump right on in. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, but before we get started, hey, Cynthia, I see some old friends in here. I'm so happy to see you guys. Before we get started, I want you all to put in the chat, I am worth the investment. Because oftentimes as women, we do not invest in ourselves. I have already been up this morning. I've taken my kid to speech therapy. I've come here and done 1,000 charts. And I wasn't really on that list of to do things for myself. So put in the chat, I am worth the investment. All right, so I'm going to share my screen if that's okay with you guys. All right, can y'all see the screen? Okay. All right, so we're going to be intentional about you, being intentional about you. You good, Darla? I'm good. Okay, good. All right, being intentional about you. This will be very interactive. Why did they choose Dr. Cree to have this conversation, right? One, I'm just like you. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I am a serial entrepreneur, and I have lots and lots going on. But what I do believe in is that all women can find a sense of balance. But my balance is not your balance, and your balance is not mine. So what I deem is balance for me and self-care for me may be a little bit different for you. And that's okay. So we're going to dive in and figure out how we can make a study or a course for ourselves that we plan to stick to that is all about you. All right. So we're going to talk about the mind, the body, and the spirit. We can't talk about one without the other. So as we go through this, every time you see it, I want you to type it in the chat because somebody said in sales, until you say a thing and sell it 7 times, people don't hear it. So we're going to try and say a mantra over and over again until you believe it because you've seen it so much and you've said it so much. I am worth the investment. So every time I say it, I need y'all to put it in the chat. All right, let's talk about our physical health. What you see, I am worth the investment. And we're not really talking, everything's not going to be about money, right? We're going to talk about how we can do the things, how we can make the investments in ourselves that may or may not cost us a dime. I can't read what it says behind because I got you guys' face right here. But anyway, you need to take care of yourself. That's it. Long story short. All right. So what are we gonna do? Self-care is not selfish. So let's talk from the healthcare standpoint. Self-care is not selfish. Somebody said that a very long time ago, and I've adopted that mantra. One, let's talk about what regular checkups means for women, right? Regular checkups. We need to make sure we're having regular checkups. That is more than just going to see your OBGYN. When was the last time you saw your primary care doctor? In the chat, ladies, in the chat. You don't have to say what you saw them for. I just want to know, are we intentional on seeing our primary care doctors? And you say, Dr. Cree, I'm so healthy, I don't need to see my primary care doctor. All those are lies. We tell ourselves that, but we make sure our kids get their checkups every 3 months, 6 months, whatever. So if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, ladies, we need to be seen at least every 3 to 4, maybe 6 months if you're pretty controlled. So write that down. We want to be seen every 3 to 6 months, or even once a year if you feel like you're healthy, happy, and whole, and you're doing all of that. You don't have any of those things. We at least need to be seeing our primary care doctor once a year. When I finish this slideshow, we're going to have some time in there for some question and answer, and right before we take our picture. So just be mindful that we'll run through this and then we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. So we need to be having our GYN and hormone visits. Anybody going through menopause, close to menopause, premenopause? I'm premenopause. I don't look at those girls, do I? I look like I'm premenopause. We got some gray hair here, and I am having all those things, having all these hot nights and sweaty nights, and you're like, what is happening? I'm irritable, I'm aggravated, I'm agitated. All of those, ladies, you're emotional. I'm emotional too. That could be your hormones. So make sure if your OBGYN or GYN at this season of our lives does not really talk about hormone health and what could be going on with you as you transition from living this where you need an OB and a GYN to strictly needing a GYN, you may need to see somebody. So we need to be seeing our GYN. I suggest you still see your GYN once a year, even though the recommendations for pap smears have changed. So in your 20s, if you're in your 20s, ladies, we need to be going every single year from the age of 21 on, because pap smears help to screen for cervical cancer, right? So we want to be screening for cervical cancer. As we get a little bit older in our 30s, you can start going based off of your risk. Usually the guidelines say every 3 to 5 years. I think a lot can happen in 3 and 5 years. So I think go every single year, at least have someone to be looking down there from a medical standpoint. If you are in a monogamous relationship, never had an abnormal period, then maybe you can stretch it out some. If you get a new boo, you out there living your best life, go to your GYN regularly. This is a no judgment zone. Somebody say, I am worth the investment. Let's talk mammograms. So if you are at least 35 years old, 35 to 36, you need a baseline mammogram, especially if you're African American. So we're going to get those baseline mammograms to say, hey, this is what our boobs look like right now. So that when you go back at the age of 40, they'll know what they look like when they were perky at 35 and 36. So they'll say, hey, we're looking good, or no, this looks a little bit different. Also for mammograms, if you have a family history of breast cancer, then you need to know that. We need to be having these conversations around the dinner table now that it's about to be, Christmas time. Like, why did grandmama die? Why did Sally die? Oh, she had breast cancer. How old was she when she had breast cancer? Because we may be at an increased risk for breast cancer and not necessarily even know it. So if your mom, if your sister, if either of them had breast cancer, you will need to start your mammograms 10 years before they had the initial diagnosis. So if mom was diagnosed at 45, you would need to get your yearly mammograms at 35, right? So we're going to do 10 years before that. We need to be going to the dentist twice a year. Nobody wants, how you see those women, they be older and they be wise, they had those babies. Babies are leeches, ladies. They take all of your good life. They make you anemic. They make your teeth fall out your head, all of that. So you smiling, you happy. And we can see all that you missing these teeth over there on the side. Nobody want that. We got veneers now. We got, implants. We have all these things that we can be doing. So we need to be going to the dentist twice a year, making sure that we are doing well, because if we're not taking care of our dental health, we could be having it could cause us to have some kind of heart issues. Sometimes there is a correlation with that. If you got gingivitis, you can have some kind of heart issues, infection around the heart. We don't want those problems. We want our teeth to be cute, so we're going to keep on doing that. And yoni steams, I don't know if anybody heard of yoni steams. It's an old African tradition where they took all of these herbs and you mix up the herbs based off of your symptoms. I have women come get their yoni steams, and your yoni is your girl part, whatever you name her, your pocketbook, your queen V, whatever. And they do it. We warm the steam up. We warm it up, and you sit there, warm the herbs up, and it's like a massage for your girl parts. You rest, you turn the lights off. So there are all these different things that you can be doing. That's you. So this is our physical health. So self-care is not selfish. I want y'all to believe that. So me, myself, and I. You can have an acupuncturist. I'm going to talk about all kind of non-traditional things as well. So I am a board certified family medicine physician, but I do embrace the fact that there are other ways that we could be caring for ourselves. That is not necessarily just pills and prescriptions, right? I had fibroids really bad. I had a hysterectomy about a year ago. Yay, hysterectomies. Women that have had hysterectomies, we've been missing out. Older women are like, I can't believe you did that. I left my ovaries in, so I'm not all the way through menopause. But I went to an acupuncturist for many months leading up to that because it helped with the pain control of my fibroids. So they can do things that is for headaches. You lay there and you're really tuning into yourself. She looked me over. She said, you're not getting enough rest. Give me a prescription of rest, which I definitely needed. And then I got all my needles put in, and then I go every single month. And that is one of the things that I attributed to making me feel better and keeping me as long as it did until I was able to leave work and take the time off from work and get the hysterectomy. Massages. If y'all are not getting your massages, say, ladies, I am worth the investment. We're going to make sure our kids are doing their softball, their baseball, their dance. In my case, their gymnastics. And gymnastics to compete is not cheap. So we pay those subscriptions every single month. Get you a subscription. A lot of massage places have those subscriptions. Cosmetics, I'm all about the cosmetics. Get your Botox, get your facials. I go every single month to get my facials. I go every 3 or 4 months to get my Botox. And I know, ladies, they say black don't crack. But let me tell you, black cracks. It just cracks slower. And I want to be looking good when I'm 80. So at 42, I am doing all the things. So I'm not going to recommend things to you that I wouldn't do for myself. Find you a good dermatologist, one that will be honest with you, because we have hormonal acne that comes back when you're in your 40s. You're like, am I 12 or am I 42? I don't really know, but I need a good dermatologist to work on me, right? And then be intentional on physical intimacy. When you get in this phase of life, I think as women get older, our sex drive increases, our husbands decrease, and they looking at us like, where was this woman when she was 26, when we were 26? Well, you have to figure out how to come to a in-between ground and say, let's figure out how to balance that. And it's okay to be an initiator. It's okay to ask for it. It's okay. So all of those things that we were told years and years ago, let's do away with those and have a new mindset, because you are worth the investment. And then passive intimacy. That's sitting there binging our TV shows. That is letting him watch his football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, while you listen to your book, but you're in the same room. Your feet are touching. You're there together, and you're passively being intimate, but you're still intentional on being intimate. And exercise. American Heart Association says we need to be exercising 30 to 45 minutes, at least 5 days a week. If you like me, I don't really have an extra 30 to 45 minutes to spare. Hey, but that's the recommendation. We got goals. And if you're the women that I think you're all type A, and you like to, if you set a goal, you want to reach it. So set that goal, start low, and say we'll do it twice a week. Then get comfortable with that. Then we'll do it 3 times a week. Then we'll get to that 5 times a week. So physical is a thing. We're going to bridge the gap between our physical health and our mental health. So we've done a whole list of things for our physical health. Darla's going to get us a copy later on in the show of all of these things that I'm recommending for you. All right, mental health. Hey, I'm worth the investment, ladies. I know it's more than 2 of y'all on here, so put the words in the chat. The more we say it, the more we will remember it. All right. To think too much is a disease. How many of y'all got that disease? Any overthinkers? I'm an overthinker. I will overanalyze a thing. You up late at night. You can't go to sleep at night, ladies, right? Because you can't turn your mind off. So you're like, how do I turn my mind off? First thing we do is we may go to the doctor. We may ask for medicines. We may just say it is what it is. But there are some things that we can do. We can do therapy, and that is all the talk. So we see a psychologist or a licensed therapist. That's the person that we go and we talk to about everything. I find that my therapist, I can dump all of it on her and she's okay with it. She doesn't care. She don't care who Dr. Cree is. She don't care who my husband is. She just takes all of this, gives me some ways to cope with it, and I'll meet you back in a month. I'll meet you back as needed. So we need to have the therapist on standby, but sometimes we may need a psychiatrist. Psychiatry will check if we have the adult ADHD, if we have anxiety, if we have depression, if we have PTSD. There are so many different things. That's post-traumatic stress disorder. As women, we carry all of these things, and we make sure our kids are taken care of. We make sure our spouses are taken care of. But we often sit in the back because we don't feel like we're worth the investment. So we need to find us a good therapist, and that therapist will let you know if you need to have some medicine and go down the psychiatry route. I put hair, this is my mental health. I get my hair done every 3 weeks. Now, if you see me looking crazy, they done call me on the news just before my 3 weeks. I didn't call me just before my 3 weeks. But I believe in saying that, hey, let me go and take the time to do that for myself. I add it to my calendar. Ladies, if you do not have a calendar that is specifically for you and only you, I need you to put that on your to-do list, that this is Cree's calendar. This is Darla's calendar. This is Cynthia's calendar. Put it on there and share it with your family, your teenagers included. So that way, when you have that calendar and it says, I'm not available, don't change and say, I am available to pick kids up when it's on your I'm not available time. They will figure it out. Or you got a friend, they can pick the kids up. The man can figure out how to get the kids up. The man can figure out how to use the car seat and put the kids in. He can do that if we will let them. So get your calendar together. Have you a calendar. Share it with everyone else and actually use it because you are worth the investment. All right, so your manicures, your pedicures. I don't really get my nails done anymore because I wash them too much in the day. But I do get my toes done, even in the winter months. So I look for that as time for me to be alone, if they would leave me alone and let me be, because most of the time I hit the door and they're like, damn, Dr. Cree, can you tell me about my thyroid? Can you tell me something? Like, no, I can't tell you any of these things. Have the boundary, ladies. I'm trying to work on that, okay? And then waxing anywhere. You can get your legs waxed, you can get your yoni waxed, you can get your eyebrows. If you're 40-something, you're starting to get that beard and that mustache, get all that wax too, girl. So those are things that I feel like are part of our mental health, because when we're looking better, we feel better. You sashaying around a little bit better. You may want to add shopping to your mental health list. Whatever it is, my list is not an all-inclusive list. Add whatever you want to add to it to make it just for you. All right. So there is hope even when your brain tells you it is not. John Green. I love that quote because oftentimes when we're at night and we're going back through our day, and we're saying we could have done that better, I could have added that to my presentation. Did I speak to them okay? Are they judging me? Are they talking about me? Or, oh my gosh, the kids, are they going to be productive in life because I was not able to do X, Y, Z? We need to know that there is still hope. And in that, we need to have a tribe. So you need to have a tribe, which means girl time is okay. My parents been married for 40 plus years. You rarely ever see one without the other. I don't understand. I don't understand this at all because I'm like, I need my girl time. So for us, girl time may be because you're working. Your girl time may be, hey, I get a half a day on Friday. That's the only day I can get with you. So let's do lunch. We may not be able to make happy hour. You may have to do it during lunchtime, but be intentional about finding other women that can relate to you, that can understand you, that you find that are safe women. It's hard because if you're in a position of leadership, if you're in C-suite, if you're an executive, you feel like there's nobody that I can really tell that I really want to wring all these men neck. I'm in a room and it's 6 men and I'm the only woman. I want to wring all of them neck and I got a belt that I got all their names on it. But somebody understands. So that may be getting a mentor. Momentum has a great mentor mentee program. If you have not gotten into that, I'm sure they'll let us know how to do that. Keep watching the emails, but find someone that you can trust, that you can tell the issues of the day so that you're not using them and keeping you up at night. Date nights are so important. Add those to your calendar and invite your spouse to the calendar as well. And then me time. My me time is on Fridays. My kid is like, don't look like you're going to work today because you don't have on scrubs. I'm not going. You're not invited. Go to school, go to after school, and I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock tonight. So we normalize the fact that me time is not punishment. Mommy taking me time is not punishment for you. It's not punishment for our spouse. It is simply okay. And when you say, I want to have me time for me, then you open the door to say your spouse can have their me time. Children can have their me time. They can be in a room and it's not punishment. Like, hey, go take a breather. It's okay. So remember, there's hope, even when your brain tells you it is not. So we've done physical health, we've done mental health, and now we're going to circle around and do spirituality, spiritual health. So what? All right, ladies, where's the choir? I am worth the investment. Spiritual health, I think it is a broad topic. It's a broad topic. So if you quiet the mind and the soul, if you quiet the mind, the soul will speak. So that is from an author unknown. You can do church if you like church. You have some kind of organized religion. That's fine. If you do not, find the time that you say, I want to have this devotional time. That may be celebrating all your wins that you had for yourself, for your family, and then going back and revisiting those wins at the end of the day. That may be your devotional. That may be your prayer time. That may be your meditation time. It's such a broad topic, but I think that as women, most of us have some kind of spiritual anchor that we fall back on that keeps us kind of sane and keep us sound, a higher power. So whatever that is, remember to quiet your mind. You may have to focus on something higher, and then it will allow your soul to speak. And gratitude time. I think that gratitude is huge. I tell my daughter, you can be anything, but anything except for ungrateful. Because oftentimes in a world where we always complaining, look for ways to, one, who do we help today? And for two, what is something that we can be thankful for today? And list that out. You may do it on an app. I have a gratitude app. You may do that in a journal. I'm going to give one away later. I have a gratitude journal that I've done, and it's just blank pages. And we can fill it in and say, what are our goals, business, business and personal. And then you always end it with what you're thankful for. All right. Every moment is a fresh beginning by T.S. Eliot. Like I said, we're going to have that quiet time. Hopefully, if you don't have a she shed or a prayer closet or a woman cave, I think you should go home and tell your spouse that you need one today, and you write those into your plans for 2024. To say, hey, I got my space. This is my space. When I'm in here, when the privacy sign is on the door, I need that moment. That means no little fingers under the bathroom door. That means no knocking and hollering and calling mama's name. And it's okay. Like, everyone gets their quiet time, whether that's yoga, journaling. Ladies, make it your own. That's the point. You're worth the investment because we're going to be intentional about us. All right, so we're going to be in harmony with yourself. So I think we've done almost about 30 minutes of what we could possibly do. So we're going to, I think, Darla, yep, this is the end. So we're going to, after I finish this slide, I got 2 more slides. We're going to come off of this. Darla's going to show you the handout that you can click the link and save, so that you have the list of all the things, and you start choosing how to formulate your investment strategy, your personal investment strategy. Remember, okay, y'all, I can't read. I don't know what this says because I got y'all face all over. Remember to take time for yourself because no one else will. And that's my words. Lastly, if you're a working wife, save the date June 7th through the 9th. I take a bunch of my super friends. We're going to Nashville, Opryland, Gaylor, and we're doing wifeology. So if you're married or engaged, or tell your friends, because we are going to have a great time. I have a bunch of board certified speakers to come through. They are all doctors by day, but they do fun things by night. One of the doctors is a ER physician. She's the DJ. We have somebody to come from Mississippi, and she does all things intimacy. We have lots and lots and lots of fun. So to find out more about wifeology, go to www.drcree.com/wifeology. Darla's going to put that in the chat as well. I'm going to come off of my share. I have some door prizes. We're going to take a picture, and then we're going to do question and answers.
Thank you so much for helping us all to understand the importance of taking care and reminding us. I mean, we know these things, but to be reminded, especially this time of the year, of taking care of ourselves physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally, you have done a great job of reminding us of all of that. And you even brought up some things so I thought doing the regular checkup once a year was enough. And just being around everyone, I've learned to do it even more, to check into more things, not just the regular checkups. So thank you for reminding us about that.
Good. So any questions, ladies? Do you have anything that you want to know more of, especially hormone health, GYN health, whatever it is you want to talk to? You got a doctor. Like I said, you got me for about 20 more minutes. So if you have any questions, jump in there, let me know. We can talk weight loss, we can talk whatever. We can talk about any of the things.
So what is the biggest, let me ask this for you. What is the biggest need that you see for women in your office that women come in for when it comes to the physical health around our age? When I say our age, I guess anywhere from 30 to 50. Let me just say it that way, okay?
Okay, so anything from 30 to 50. I think the biggest thing that I start to see with women is stress and the ways that stress manifests itself. That can be high blood pressure, that can be anxiety, that can be depression. So those are probably the 3 biggest things that I've noticed that the women have had, and then it all stems back to, I'm working these long hours, I'm traveling, I'm stressed, and oftentimes my prescription is, here, let's get those FMLA papers in, let's do what we need to do to give you the time, to take the time to rest. And they come back and I'm like, that's truly a prescription. Rest is a prescription. So seeing that and their blood pressure numbers get better, we start our medicine, start medicine if you need to, but having them to give the permission to rest is priceless.
And Thank you. And Alicia, you had a question.
Two-part question, given your response to Darla's question. The first one was, well, let's follow up on Darla's first. When you talk about rest, I know that sounds pretty elementary, but sort of define what that means, because as a busy mom and wife, I like to think that I rest, but my body tells me that I'm not. So what do you do? What do you offer as suggestions for resting?
For resting. So I would say that I'm gonna give you two answers. Resting in the day, usually we go on and on and on. We keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing as much as we can. I think that if we're going to adapt a restful state of mind, we need to, one, incorporate a day of rest or hours of rest. So that may be a Friday, that may be Saturday. You may say, we're going to go to church, and then after that, I'm not going to pick up these emails. So one is daytime rest and conditioning your body to say, if I could just get to Friday, or if I could just get to Sunday, I can do all the things because I'm going to rest on XYZ day. Also, I think as far as nighttime, when we talk about sleeping and rest, how many of you guys are actually getting more than about 4 or 5 hours of sleep? I mean, put it in the chat, really. Are we getting more than that? Because usually I feel like if I get about 5 hours of sleep, I slept like a rock star. And then I get up and say this prayer, Lord, let me act and feel like I slept for 8 hours. So 4 or 5 at this age is sometimes, okay. Carrie, I hope I'm saying your name right. She averages about 7 hours of sleep. So if we're going to do that, we need, Tyra says 7 to 9 hours. That's amazing. So if I can get 5 or 6 hours of sleep, then I feel like I can run on and see what the end is going to be, like the old people say. But we actually need more. If we can get to that 7 hours, but we have to do some things prior to, right? So we need to do our sleep hygiene. We really shouldn't have TVs in our room, but I think everybody does. But are we turning on the calm music? Are we turning on setting the atmosphere for sleep? Are we putting our phones on do not disturb? Are we turning off, because that blue light that keeps going off, this is a blue light that is going to keep you up and trigger your mind to say awake, 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 or stress, 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 kind of thing. So we need to be, if we're going to get longer sleep, we need to be setting the stage for a sleep atmosphere. And we're going to turn the lights down. We're going to turn our calm music on. We're going to put ourselves on do not disturb. And then we're going to do that over and over until our body gets the hang of it and say, hey, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. This feels good to us. This doesn't feel foreign. A lot of what we need to do as women is we're going to have to retrain ourselves into doing it, retraining ourselves on getting the rest that we need and giving ourselves permission on giving the rest, on being restful. Does that answer your question?
It does. I notice your emphasis on the word permission.
Yes, permission, because we don't feel like we have the permission. We feel like we have to continue to keep going. We feel like, as the woman, we set the stage for the house. So if everybody else kids go to bed at 10, it's on us to say, that's kind of late. Let's push your bedtime up. I'll have my time to watch Dynasty here. And then from there, we will, turn off and go to sleep. Any other question? Joy, do you have a question? I think you came off mute. No, she's not on mute. Let me see. What else? What else y'all want to talk about?
Do you have any suggestions during the holidays how we can
That's good.
keep the stress at bay? Because there's only just so much you can do.
It's only so much you can do. Always drive your own car. Drive your car to wherever you're going.
It's true. Yeah.
So that when you're ready to get out, you can get out. And 2, have a plan. So I never go anywhere that I already know what time I plan on leaving, what time, whether it's great or not. I'm like, okay, it's 5. I'm gonna be in my car by 9. So the more that we plan, the better we will feel. So plan it out so that you can get home at a decent time, and that will help your stress there in itself. I think Tara, you got your hand up. Am I saying it right? Tara or Tara?
It's Tara. Thank you.
Tara.
So when you talked about the GYN and hormone health, is the GYN who you start with, or should we expect that they're the expert when it comes to the hormone levels? Because I know that my group of friends were in our mid to late 40s and we're having those conversations and we're getting different responses from our practitioners. So just curious about.
So that's a great question. There are a lot of GYNs that will do your PAPs, will make sure that you're good, make sure you have your mammograms, but don't adopt a lot of the newer practices. Like we have the pellets, you have the testosterone creams, you have the estrogen creams and all of that. But there are some GYNs that is their specialty. And I'm going to put the name of one in the chat, Dr. Mia Cowan of Nivella Wellness. Her specialty is all things hormone. So she is off of 280. So I would say you still keep your GYN, you still go to them. You may even ask them for your levels. And if they say, oh, your levels are low, or I don't know what to do with these levels, call Dr. Cowan's office and they will get you taken care of to make sure that if you need more in one area versus the other, that they'll help you through the transition of going through the changes of being premenopausal, perimenopausal. That's who I see for my hormone health, and I highly recommend them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a great question.
Yes.
Did I leave anything? Did I leave anything out? I don't know that I left anything out. Okay. Oh, or at least you got another question.
Yeah, you know I'm always chock full of questions. I can keep going, but this will be my last one, I hope. I want to hear your medical opinion on weight loss medication. You see it a lot in the news in terms of shortages, etc. But I just want to know your medical opinion on its effectiveness, potential side effects, whether you would recommend it.
Okay, so when I think of weight loss medicines, I think of two different classes. We have the older classes like the Adipex, the phentermine, those ones that are tried and true. You can get them for $30 or less, but you have to be mindful of the side effects. They can make your heart beat fast. They can make you have headaches. They can make you have dry mouth, and it can make your blood pressure go up. So if you're already on high blood pressure medicine, you may want to be leery of starting those classes of medicine because it's a stimulant. So you're going to have all the energy, you doing your thing, you excited, you going and going, but we don't want to be doing any harm. So it's a cheaper route. However, it may not be the best route. That's why you need to talk with your primary care doctor based off of your history and go from there. As far as the newer classes, we have the Ozempic, the Wegovy, the Mounjaro, all of the semaglutide, the injectables that are amazing for weight loss that can, and some of the classes have good cardio protection, so protects your heart. There are also some that are good for if you are pre-diabetic to keep your sugar levels good. But once it went viral on TikTok, the world jumped on it. And then now insurances and pharmacies are freaking out because at its basis, those are medicines for diabetics. So the diabetic population is not having enough medicine to be able to refill. You know what I'm saying? They're not able to refill their medicines because there are none around. So pharmacies are doing things like, oh, if I send you in a new prescription for it, they're like, oh, we're only going to fill it for our people that are already in our database. We're not going to do any new refills. Or the insurance company is not even letting us get it from prescription to pharmacy because they make you go through all these hoops. And a lot of providers are like, I'm not going to do that prior authorization for you because it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary to do all of these things for the insurance company to say, hey, we very well may not need to do it. They very well may not cover it. So you do all of that for the insurance to still say no, but they work well. A big side effect that you're seeing a lot of the famous people have that they're talking about is what's called gastroparesis, where your gut slows down the delays the emptying. So you do the injection, so it makes it a little bit longer for the food to pass through your system. Well, it should just be a little bit slow, not so slow that it, kind of spoils on your stomach. You get nauseated, you get sick. So, and then if you already have thyroid issues, you may not be a candidate for the injection. So those are the two different classes. I do have people on Advocate. I don't really have as many people on the injection because it's just so hard to get it covered.
Any other questions? Or just any comments? Has anyone had something that has caught them by surprise when they visited the doctor this year that they were like, oh, I didn't know I needed to think about that? I know I appreciate what you said about going to the dentist. I didn't think about that being something as part of something to check in. I mean, other than the normal dentist visit, that how fast that can change after you've had children.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. I've had several women who, I think our calcium, the way we absorb babies are leeches. That's the best way I can describe them. And the teeth are just, I'm like, why are your teeth falling out? They've been falling out since I had this baby, kind of thing. So I would say we have all the cosmetics, but making sure that oftentimes we're making sure our kids get their dentist visits, but making sure that we're going as well.
okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. I am so glad that y'all all have hopped on with us today. Dr. Johnson, you are amazing. Thank you for all that you've shared with us and how much you love us as women and just are a huge light for all of us. We have the links in here. This will also be posted so you can come back and look at this. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Cree and also take a look at her conference that she has coming up next year. So excited about that. I know you've been planning that for quite a while. That is going to be pretty cool.
Hey, darling, let me add one more thing. I do a
Yeah.
Dr. Cree and me segment twice a month on my Dr. Cree Facebook page. So I usually, I'm supposed to do it on Tuesdays. 2 Tuesdays out of the month, but it usually ends up being 2 Fridays out of the month. So anyway, hey, Ann, thank you. Anyway, so follow that page and we have tons of video, tons of information, tons of medical stuff. So if you need me there, that will be the best way to grab.
Thanks for taking the time to invest in yourself by watching our webinar. This series is produced in partnership with Social U. Many thanks to our sponsor companies, including America's Thrift Stores, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama, Protective Life, and Regions Bank. A full list of Momentum sponsors is online at momentumleaders.org/sponsors. Beyond this webinar, we have a lot of ways for you to get more momentum in your life. Check out the show notes for additional links and resources.